All right, welcome to the drive-through. This is homework 1.3 review. We're starting with number 1.2 review, thank you. We're starting with number 16. It tells us that angle POA is a right angle. Does it not tell us that? Okay. And then it says POC is 3 times as large. POC is 3 times as large as COA. Okay? So this is why we take algebra first. If I called COA x, then what would POC be? It would be 3x. And what do we know to be true about this entire angle? So now we can say 3x plus x equals 90. 4x is 90. Divide each side by 4. 90 over 4, what is that, 22.5? So x is 22.5. Be careful, that's not the question. The question asks, what's the measure of POC? So that's 22.5 times 3. So angle POC, what is that, 67.5? Okay, next question. 19. Okay, ABC and CBD have the same measure. They intentionally make it look like they might be a straight angle. Okay? So it says ABC and CBD have the same measure. Now, what does it say ABC is? What's our little... Plus 2. Okay, and what does it say CBD is? Just say it. 2x minus 29 and 1/4. Do I have everything written down right? Okay, so what do we know to be true about this problem? We know that they're equal. So I can say that 3/2 x plus 2 is equal to 2x minus 29 and 1/4. Maybe you guys just want to turn those into decimals. I'll keep working with them with fractions, but since you're always going to be allowed to use your calculator, if you prefer to work with decimals, that's fine. It might set you back a little on some future tests, but you'll still be okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 3/2 x. Okay? I'm left with 2 equals, what's 2 minus 3/2? 1/2 x minus 29 and 1/4. What's my next step? Add 29 and 1/4 to both sides. And you're left with 31 and 1/4 equals 1/2 x. What's the easiest way to get rid of a half? Multiply by 2. You could divide by a half, but when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the inverse. So just multiply this side by 2, and that leaves you with x equals 2 times 31 and 1/4, and that is 62 and 1/2. Now we're not done yet, I don't think, because it's asking us. So x is 62 and 1/2. Now I'll just turn that into a decimal. Can someone please do 3/2 times 62.5 and then plus 2? 95.75. Now, we need to check to make sure. So can you do 2 times 62.5 minus 29 points, and you get the same thing? Alright, so now I'm pretty confident I did the problem right because these two angles have the same measure. But the question was, is this a straight angle? It is not. In fact, the diagram isn't even really drawn right. Wouldn't it actually look like this? Right? And so one thing you're not going to want to do in this class is trust the books diagram. It is intentionally misleading you at times. And that is a great segue into what we're doing today, because today we're learning what kind of things we can assume in this class. Anyone know what we can assume? Neha? Oh, sorry, Yusuf? We cannot assume congruence. We can assume that things are collinear. We can assume a straight line and a straight angle. You can assume the betweenness of points. Exactly, and the relative position, which is like the betweenness. Good. Okay. Any other questions on the homework? Caitlin? Number 20. All right, so change 15 and 2/9 degrees into degrees, minutes, seconds. You should do this on your calculator, just so you know. It's the best way to do it. So you should practice doing this right now. You would do 15 and 2/9, however you would do that in your calculator. That turns into 15.22222222. And then you want to hit your angle function, scroll to DMS, hit equals, equals, and it'll change it to you. But by hand, that would be 15 degrees plus 2/9 of 60 minutes. Okay? So, what can someone please do? 2 times 60 is 120. Do 120 to divide it by 9 for me. 13.3 repeating. Okay? So, 15 degrees, 13 minutes, plus 1/3 of 60 seconds. What's 1/3 of 60? So the final answer is 15 degrees, 13 minutes, 20 seconds. That's how you do it by hand. Okay? All right, I'm going to take attendance. That's it for the review. If you have more questions, I'll take them, but I'm going to stop the video at this point. Boom!